Round 2. There we go. Welcome, welcome. Sorry. Oh, intuitive insights. Oh, I love that. It depends. Usually, I do a little bit of a blend of both. If you have any questions, these I do like little co-working sessions together during the day, and Saturday's my like usually tapping in day. But if you have any questions or if you feel stuck, I'm happy to give you a couple words of wisdom or two. Sorry, Tarun. Yeah. What is Thanksgiving? Oh, Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is supposed to be the celebration of when the Native Americans and the Europeans that immigrated to the U.S. had sat and basically broke bread together. But now it's just kind of like a holiday where family gets together and celebrates as kind of like a kickoff to what we call the holiday season from Thanksgiving to New Year's. Flip that guy over. Yeah. How is turkey? Yeah. Oh, why not hen or goat? So yeah, it's like a version of it too, but I like a poultry is what we call it. Goat isn't as common here. I feel like that's more like in your corner of the world or Europe. It's not like people don't eat it. And then intuitive, I'll read in a second. But what was I gonna say? Sorry, I have to sometimes have to lower the music so I can think. But turkey was like, I guess, the symbol at the time or more popular. There are a lot of wild turkeys here too, but I don't even really know, to be honest with you. I don't remember. I don't remember why. I think it was just the known bird at the time. I know the president will like pardon a turkey at Thanksgiving to like memorialize it. But yeah. That's the extent of my knowledge. I'm sad to say. I would like a reading on my YouTube channel. I'm getting views, but no free paid reads right now. People are viewing the content, but hardly chatting. So my first question would be kind of like from a strategic perspective. If you're familiar with astrology, I have a lot of Aquarius placements, so I'm very big on like business strategy. Looking at your, like how you go about your YouTube channel, are you doing lives or are you doing just videos and wanting to get videos that are posted like shorts or like longer form videos? What does that setup look like for you? Because it sounds like you're getting views on your videos but not any reads on like from actual people. I'm gonna see if I can pull up your channel here. Intuitive. I'm going live 4 days a week and that's where I'm getting views. Okay. And when you're in the live, what is it like? Are you actually on camera? Intuitive Insights, Tarot, and Guitar. Okay, I think I spelled something wrong. Let's see. Okay. Let me take a look, because if I have the visual too. I don't know if Intuitive Insights, Tarot, and Guitar was taken, but intuitive is spelled wrong in your handle. if that matters to you, but it's okay if it doesn't. Intuitive. But I like it because it sounds like a little bit of an accent too. Intuitive Insights, Tarot, and Guitar. I don't know why you're not coming up here. Okay, Sean is your name? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Then we know. So when I click on Sovereign Heartland, let me see. Oh, I love that. Okay, I see this here. And then we're on live. Let me take a little look-see here. So just from the initial kind of like what I'm looking at, let me see.
You're that thick Ace of Wands. Isn't there anymore?
I love your cards that you use. They're so beautiful and vibrant. I kind of like the angle. I was gonna say sometimes people like are funny because sitting far back from the table, like sitting a little bit farther back, like people like when you're a little bit closer, like I am now too. So sometimes that can be a little bit of like a little bit of a intuitive thing for people. I know it's kind of a helpful energetic buffer too, which I kind of like. I think that what's also playing into a lot of people's trust in the spiritual space is that TikTok, are you in the US, Sean? Because we're having this kind of like interesting migration between the readings that I get on YouTube primarily have been from the people and the network that I grew over on TikTok, and then I came, oh, okay, wow, yeah, so even more so. Okay, there we go. But I find that YouTube or TikTok was more of the platform that people were used to doing readings on and building a level of trust. Now that's kind of shifted where the market is just now starting to shift to YouTube, but it's still going to take, a couple months or so. I would say, figuring out a way where you kind of look at what you're in it for. I think that YouTube is better if you spend some time doing like a cap on a certain amount of time that you're there. Like for me, I'm only live for 2 hours at a time. If you don't have that already, I'm just taking a quick look, so I couldn't see all of it, but I think like and paying attention to people too. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, good. Do you, when people ask you, or do people in the chat ask you to read for them, or are they silent in the comments? What does that kind of look like for you? And I would put like, I'll show you, there's a picture. What's your goal today? I would do, see how I just put up this little question box? I would put something, use that to when you're on your mobile phone, on the right hand side, there's a little sticky note with like a bent little side square. And I would write in something like that indicates to people that like maybe they could do, you could say like drop in like a free yes or no question or something along those lines, and start to use that if you haven't already. Have you used that feature yet or tried that? Because that can help people, newcomers, know what's happening too. Because I saw that you had your QR code that was on the live, but if people are tuning in from their phone and you get a lot of views from the vertical feed, they can't screenshot. Okay, Prism Live, yeah. With Prism, I've never heard of that before. I haven't used it. With Prism, are you able to make something like this that tells people like what you're doing and that you can connect with them in that way? Or they could connect with you? A marquee that scrolls. Okay. Yeah, I don't do that like emails. I actually don't like emails because I do have a client base that I reserve that to. If you know your rising sign, sun and moon, you can just drop that in the chat instead. But I have to be aware of my time and make sure that I use it wisely. But that's what these kinds of lives are too. So you at least have access to me in this way. And then I know I can answer you. But yeah, I would say, what is it about tarot too that attracts you to it? Like mentioning to people like people who are excited about what it is that they're doing. And I think, being able to know that like on a platform like Live, there's like some sort of vitality that has to be poured into it too on a consistent basis is also important. So more than just like logging it in 4 times a week, like does that 4 times a week, like do you feel excited about it when you hop on? And having, like I do, like some music going or something that keeps you like just as engaged even when nobody's answering. Hi, Logan. I'm just helping intuitive right now. I think I said true and said, yes, this can read my fortune. If so, I will tap in a different way in my brain when I'm doing like full intuitive work. Like now I'm in the strategy mode. I do that on Saturday. So when I'm in on Saturday, I'll do paid readings then for any kind of intuitive reads. But I'm happy to answer like simple questions, but it's a different part of my brain that kind of has to tap in. What kind of Libra people has personality, or what kind of personality do Libras have? So Libras, you're so funny, and it like exactly like the types of comments that you'll make through and like remind me of Libras, like really interested in like the finer things in life, like you love luxurious things, like good food, like really like anything that feels very intentional or expensive, or just like the quality is really there, even if it's something that's not necessarily expensive in its own right, but the quality really has to be there. Libras can also be very anxious sometimes too. Like it's a lot of like internal, like being very concerned about like what other people think, what's going on, like how do you guys are the scale, so always taking a lot of judgment too. You remind me of my crush who I don't have the guts to approach to talk. That's so funny. Thank you, I think. I'm a Pisces sun too, moon in Libra. Okay, that makes sense. Venus in Aquarius, more, yeah. Virgo, let's see, Mercury and Pisces and Venus in Aquarius. Okay, Mars in Aquarius, Jupiter, Virgo, Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus and Capricorn too. What's your rising sign? Because that'll tell me the configuration of all of your houses, also your ascendant. That way I know like where your moon falls in your sun, what house it lives in your natal chart. That'll be able to help me help you a little bit more. How Cancer people are in love and relationship. So Cancers are funny. Like you guys definitely like to be able to feel like you can really like a mesh with your person and really kind of fall into each other in a beautiful way. Like you're definitely a lover at heart, and do like it's like that, but you feel very deeply, so you're very sensitive. So it's like you can have that hard exterior because Cancer's the crab, but you're mushy on the inside. What not everyone gets to see that, nor should everybody. And I think, Sean, for you, like part of, with all that Aquarius and Pisces, like part of the charm is the quirkiness, right? Like really getting to know your people, and if there's people that have been there again and again, or even one person, like Tarun is one of those people for me that is so kind to come to my live streams. Like paying attention to your people is important, and not feeling like, you know, it's like Rome wasn't built in a day. So a lot of us, what we're having to do right now collectively as a society is learn that we're all people building things, and that we're not people prime, right? There's Amazon Prime, but we're not people prime. So having that kind of energy is important. Any idea what are the relationship of Libra people? Fave alphabet for her wife name start. I don't know what you mean. Like, or what kind of zodiac sign would be, like, who, what, a compatibility maybe? Is that what you mean, Tarun? Like what does compatibility look like for a Libra? I am married already, but I like to work because it makes me feel good. I don't know favorite alphabet. I don't know what that means. I just know the alphabet as like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But I don't know what that means. Rising sign, a rising Cancer. Okay, yeah. So you guys change every 2.5 days because you're ruled by the moon. So your mood is very dependent on how connected people feel to you. I would not, what's your moon sign? You said your moon is in Libra. I would not necessarily go live when the moon is in Aries for you. I feel like the moon sign can also change your mood, and you're a lot of water, a lot of Pisces, a lot of like the water bearer even is Aquarius. So really paying attention to how your mood dictates the energy of the stream. Like if you feel frustrated because people aren't booking with you, people are going to feel that frustration. Find a girlfriend for me among your friends. I will share my pics with you. That's so funny. I know. Are you looking for an American girl specifically, or just like you have to describe your aesthetic? I feel like a lot of my girlfriends are married at this point, unfortunately for you. Okay, let me flip this over. Yeah, no tantrums. Yeah, I understand that. Well, because I feel like you have that air of sophistication to you too. So like it needs to be somebody that like understands that as well. Sean, if you're still here, how long have you been going live for? Because it could be too that you have to just build the trust with getting some regular people in the audience. And I don't know if your time also shifts, but like sticking to a certain schedule will help you to connect with people who are usually on at the same time. And I think too, like people who get readings usually are on the weekends and also like evenings and weekends, US time. So I do my paid readings on like a Saturday afternoon or like a Wednesday or Thursday evening. Have some, 5'6". Okay, there you go. That helps me help you. Yeah, and like height doesn't necessarily matter for everybody. But I feel again, besides no tantrums, what do you like? Do you have an idea of what you like, what you don't like? My style. Yeah. Oh, I know. I feel like I only know the only girls that I know like me are in relationships, but like one of my friends that is actually a Libra like me, she's in a relationship with a doctor. But yeah. I don't know how much time I have to be matchmaker. I need a whole nother gig just for that. A whole nother business. Yeah, please find American Girlfriend for your brother. High hopes on you, but no tantrums, simple ones. Yeah. Well, I feel like because I feel like a lot of brown men, generally speaking, and just culturally, what works for you because of how you were raised in a relationship is having like a woman that also will like take care of you in that way. Like more like is cooking important to you? Like I mean obviously somebody that dresses well and has like good style and like looks very like nice and put together, but like do you care about like a woman who like wants to cook or anything like that? Money not constraint, but I make, yeah, a great for this. Family oriented woman, cooking skills important. Also love my parents. Yeah, that's important too. In Indian culture, we can't live without parents. So parents, me and she. Yeah, it's so hard. I feel like it's hard to find, like in American culture now, it's hard to find a lot of American women that are okay with parents living with, like in-laws living in the house with their spouse or their partner. So that also presents a particular challenge. But yeah, maybe someone also European too, or a little bit like closer. But I'll keep an eye and an ear out. Maybe there's somebody that will come across our live here that we can make a good matchup with. But especially Americans are always looking at the Instagram. Like, they want to see pictures of you, like nice pictures, things along those lines too. Like, Instagram is like the unofficial like dating profile without actually being a space where people date. Like, it could be like, it's a way that people meet people. But yeah. Maybe in your friend circle, please find in friend circle for me, no gold diggers. Yeah, I know gold diggers are an American culture, husband, wife, no parents, right? They live separate. Yeah, exactly. But a lot, I find that like, there's a lot of Americans that are of like Spanish descent, or like maybe they're first generation American, but from a Spanish country. Like, it's more common in Spanish culture to have like the parents live with you, like you as the couple. But it really does depend. But I know I'm like, my friend circle is very small, and I don't know. I can only think of my friend Liv, and then yeah, anyone else that I really know is married. That's what happens. I feel like when you start to get, I'm not in my 20s anymore, but I will keep an ear and an eye out for you. You never know. That are intuitive healers alert and aware. Yeah, like a fingers crossed. Yeah, she should be well educated as I'm an analyst. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I went to well, as you know, I've been to university, so I'm big on education. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think not like, and that's the thing too, like a lot of women that are, you know, educated and powerful aren't necessarily simple. And like it depends. Like I think not complicated in terms of like they're not always argumentative, you know, but I'm trying to like think of the like create the archetype in my mind for you. It's me. Do favorite on Google search. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, how many American would marry him? Well, there is a camp. Like there are like yeah, he's handsome. He's older too. Sagittarius. Yeah, it would be a very specific type of American woman. It's like hard to, they're broken down into different camps for sure. But I feel like he's kind of that like almost like racially, not racially ambiguous, but like he could kind of fit in anywhere. But he's conventionally attractive. But it just would be a specific type of woman, American woman. Okay, let me flip this guy. I just have to make sure I send this article because I have an event later tonight. So I want to make sure I get this out. Give me a moment. Oh, net worth. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. What kind of expectation American women and she should live in India with me or maybe live in the US. I think it so you would need somebody that's okay with like a completely different like cultural norms than America. So I feel like somebody that is in kind of like the business space that is okay with like international travel, because regardless, like even if you were to like be with an American that lives in the US or lives abroad, you want somebody that has like more of a worldview. Sometimes with some American women, like they well, I mean anyone that's going to really date outside of like American culture, or even like we're the melting pot, right? In a lot of places in the US, the like edges of the US, the big cities. Hi Josh, welcome. You would need somebody that's like okay with travel, because that's not a short flight from the US to India. Someone who's open-minded, likes different culture, different food. But I feel like a lot of people like somebody that is like from like the city, like any like Chicago, New York, maybe LA. It depends on where in LA. You doing, Danny? You relaxing? I love you. But do find a girlfriend who polices among your friends. Yeah, I have done my master's scholar guy. Yeah, that's great. I love that. Aw. I know, you have good energy. And you value like good things like family and hard work and education. So those are all good traits to have. both cultures. She's happy. Yeah, she would live with me here, maybe in the States. Yeah, I love both Hindu and Christian culture. Yeah, you'll be bridesmaid catching flowers. Yeah. So when you, the people that catch the bouquet are women who are single, or like bachelorettes, like those who are single. So for me being married, I wouldn't catch the bouquet, but you catch the bouquet if you are somebody who's single. And then the superstition or the belief is that whoever catches the bouquet will get married next. Excuse me. I am simple, no tantrum, yes, yeah. No bad habits, yeah. Amazing destiny means this. Yeah, I know, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I know, I'm so glad, like, the internet, I was saying, connects me with people that are from, like, all different places in the world like you. Hi, beautiful. How are you? Oh, sorry, Za. No, I wasn't playing the piano yesterday, but I wish that I could. This is what our American Girlfriend expectation. I don't know. Yeah, you're fine. I wish I could play, but thank you. I appreciate that, Blackpink. Or I should say magnetic, right? Aw, I love that. I'm just gonna close my window because I'll look like this and not be able to see. But thank you. Good, I'm so glad. Yeah, happy Thursday. It's crazy, it's already almost the end of the week. Paste, get that guy. Here is my only account on. I know. I can't wait for summer either too. I love the no. We're not, it's just a term of endearment. We're not actually related, but it's like brother, sister, like you say, like a friendship thing. Ask your friend also if they have beautiful unmarried friend. Yes, I know. We'll start to ask around. How old are you, Tarun? If you don't mind me asking. Yeah. What are expectation? I mean, I think just like the standard, like, you know, being kind, compassionate, like making sure that you make time for like heart to heart good conversations, not like that they have to be super emotional. I also think like, oh, okay, 33. Okay, amazing. You know, having like being truly having a friendship with your partner is underrated. I think a lot of people think of marriage and they don't think about having Albania. It's not snowing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of snow. I don't know if you could see too much right now. You'll see my cat's bed set up here. He's watching the snow. But we had almost 2 feet of snow, which is like two-thirds of almost a full meter. A little bit less than that, but yeah, it's chilly. But yeah, making sure that you know, take time to like laugh together, do fun things together, you know, don't just get into the habit and routine of like the monotony of day to day. And working hard is important, but you want to work hard and play hard too. Oh, I love that. You're so gorgeous. I love the blue too. That's a beautiful like aura. We match. I love that. I'm gonna pause the music for a second just to listen to my audio here.
A great thing every day is a completely normal feeling, especially when you're dealing with a lot. Is a completely normal feeling, especially when you're dealing with a lot of emotional exhaustion. Energy of the day, the human design way. Let's talk about it. So on this Venus ruled day, we're looking at Venus in Aquarius in gate 13, which is actually known as the gate of the listener. And there's this funny phrase that I like to say that it's God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We want to listen today twice as much as we're speaking. How can you be in a position to listen to people's stories, to be able to find reciprocity in the listening, and making sure you're listening to yourself, most importantly, whatever your gut instinct, your authority in human design is telling you. You really want to be able to just start to trust what we say, trust your inner knowing. You hear a lot of that in the spiritual space, but it really is true. How can you start to quiet your mind and really listen intuitively to tuning into the frequencies of whatever you know that you need to listen to. Listen intuitively to tuning into the frequencies of what to tuning into the frequencies of whatever you know that you need to listen to. I always say we call this kind of like our North Star, and understanding how to go with frequencies of whatever you know that you need to listen to. I always say we call this kind of like our understanding how to go within and being able to organize your thoughts, and this kind of like our understanding kind of like our North understanding how to go within and being able to this kind of like our North Star understanding how to go within and being able to organize your North Star understanding how to go within and being able to organize your thoughts and your mind in a way that makes sense to you. So really always, if you want a specific always, if you want a specific tip for how this to you, as always, if you want a specific tip for how this energy is going to be affecting you more specifically, where you should specifically be looking to get a little quiet and
I'll read in a second. Hi, Kimberly.
Drop your rising sign or energy type in the comments below, and I'd be happy to help you. I will see you tomorrow.
I had to lock in for a second to listen to what I said and edit my video that's going out tonight. I like do them all at once for the week ahead sometimes, and I'm like, wait, what did I even say? But it's nice to see you. Look here. Okay, let me start. Yeah, I did it on a party yesterday. Oh, I love that. Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, tell the friend he is going to make 100 million deals in coming years. Says I really want an amazing girlfriend, can't settle for less. Yeah, 1000%. I didn't settle for less. Oh, let me see. I see. Oh, Kim, it said to really let go and to focus on myself. I love that. That's a good goal of the day. A great goal of the day. I think that I can help keep you accountable. Thank you. Yeah, I love my blue. As a Pisces and Aquarius, I feel like the blue is very reflective of me. Like if I had to pick one color to wear the rest of my life, this would be it. Yeah, blue. I love red as well, but I like red externally also. I actually want to paint some walls upstairs red. But yeah, the focusing on ourselves is important. I just wrote a like in my Substack to like making those small promises to ourselves that we don't like break. Like keeping those promises is really big. Like even if it's small, like okay, I at 3:00 am gonna get up and do XYZ for myself. Even if it's something silly like drink water, that can flex the muscle of getting yourself to train yourself to trust that you know you best in what you're doing. And that's always my, like how I see my job is like putting the power back into your hands. Yeah, your goal today is, I don't want to say it, hopefully a good one. Be nice to yourself. Yeah, really like, yeah. I have one single question. Who created us and who created us, how, why, and who? So, I mean, for me, it's a good existential question, but for me, I think that all of the religions that we have in the world just are really specific, complex ways to describe the same kind of energy, you know, and we're all made from the same stuff, you know, of stardust, if you will. So for me, I know that there's something bigger than ourselves out there because we feel it. We have those kinds of like little gut pulls and instincts in our heart. But I think that really being able to learn how to trust ourselves brings us back to that place of purity. If we're operating from a place of purity and kindness too, is important. Yeah, just came out of for your relationship. Oh wow, yes. Oh, that's a grieving period in and of itself. And I always give a lot to others and forget myself way too often. Yeah, but learned it the hard way this time. Yeah, and I'm sorry. I mean, it's like the silver lining in it is that, Kim, like it won't happen again because you're like, wow, this actually sucked really bad. So as much as terrible as this was, I know I'm not going to go back to that place. And I too had to have that kind of like come to Jesus moment, for lack of a better way to say it, where I was like, wow, like, yeah, I had to kind of like have this jarring experience to really learn what I wanted and how to feel appreciated and just personal boundaries too. I think I did. Maybe it didn't go through, but I saw it earlier, Tarun. Yeah. About the only can't settle for less. That was the last one that I could see. But yeah, really making sure that like you don't forget yourself. And that period of like, I feel like one of like the best things that I ever did for myself was really allowing myself to like live by myself on my own and just like figure out what it is that I wanted. I was in this like little tiny 1-bedroom apartment. And I really enjoyed like that time to just get to know myself. And listen, because I understand, because I've been there. I'm speaking from pure experience, not just feeling like I have to put on a mentor hat and like give advice just because I'm on the internet, but like I've been there myself. And it's really just like that emotional toll that it takes is like, wow, I will never do that again. And just having somebody, like I was saying to Tarun earlier here, like you want somebody that truly feels like a partner, especially because you're a cool person that is like a self-starter and you have a lot of things going for you, where you need somebody who like doesn't want to date you just because it looks cool to be with you as Kim and all the bells and whistles of Kim, but who is Kim also as a creative behind closed doors, because as a creative person, you need somebody who's with those kind of like melancholic ebbs and flows of energy. You know, like having that kind of flow of life. Yeah. One bedroom has amazing benefits. It does. It was less to clean. Yeah, we were living together, and to be honest, I never lived alone. So soon I will be going into that phase. Yes, I love that. And I need it. I promise you will love it. Like just the like going home and not having to worry about anyone else but yourself before you get into the right relationship. It's like I think every person should have that. You can still give your opinion. I'll listen to that and appreciate it. Oh, thank you, Za. I appreciate that. Yeah, if aliens see us from 4.6 billion years away, they see Earth not created. Yes, like there's certain places like because of light years that they still perceive Earth as having like dinosaurs here. But if it's 2 million years away, light years away, they see it but it's purple because of, oh yeah, dinosaurs and bacteria. Yes, sorry, I didn't read the rest of it before I started answering bacteria. Yeah, it's so cool to listen, like, to think about that, isn't it? Like, we're so small. Like, our drama seems so big, but when we look at the sky and, like, the full moon is going to be on Sunday, like, we're so small at the same time. Mia Kim, I'm excited for you. Like, I don't know. It's like living like we say, like, the hot girl summer, right? Like that kind of energy, and just like pouring into you, and you know, not having to report to anybody else. Like, I love that. Let me make sure I export this as we're chatting. We're not alone, not as humans. Yeah, I don't think we're alone either. I don't know what else is out there, but I think we're silly to be that egotistical to think that we're alone. I think I was afraid at the start of our relationship to tell from pure honesty that I didn't want to live together because of the fear of losing her before it was even starting. Yeah, it's like, and it kind of sucks because sometimes, like, you feel that sense of urgency, like if someone's lease is ending and you're like, okay, we're dating and it's quite a few months in, where we feel really connected, so it just kind of feels like it should make sense that we move in together. Like, I know a couple of my friends that have gotten into situations like that, and it like, when you live with somebody or when you go on vacation with them, is when you truly, like, get to see who they are. And sometimes it actually, you're like, oh, like, we're not actually that compatible. And I think too, like, in our day and age, I actually think that we'll start to see in the next like 5-10 years or so, relationships where more couples actually live apart or have their own space. Like, the types of relationships that we see out there are like becoming more progressive. But you know, I think it all comes back to like knowing that you want to treat somebody or take care of them because you want to, but feeling that kind of like, and we all have masculine and feminine energy, where that energy of like always having to be in a masculine caretaker role. You know, I have my times where I feel like, you know, I'm in my masculine, but I like to find that balance of like energetic androgyny, if you will. But I think, yeah, it's like those kinds of pressures. But now it's like you've clocked it, you know it, Kim. So like, you know, full circle, you won't repeat it again. And that's a good, like, even though it like sucks, the way you learn the lesson was sucky, like the lesson being learned is important, better than to repeat it again and again. I love that money is the goal. I love that. What kind of cake? I love all cake, but my favorite is chocolate with raspberry in the middle. I like the bitterness of raspberry and the like richness of chocolate, but usually I go for chocolate. How about you? I also really like rosewater or pistachio too, which I know is big, or mango. Belisa, that was terrifying news. I don't know. Oh, I don't know what that is. Blackpink, yeah. Oh, pineapple. Yeah, pineapple. Yeah, you're right. And definitely, yeah, learn the lesson. Yeah. And I think just like, I think exactly where you're at just based on the audio, and I'm still behind on emails and DMs, so forgive me. But the bit that we touched on in your audio that I sent to you, the audio reading I sent to you, really like is just understanding that this present moment from one manifesting generator to another is just calling you to really say like, I just am going to go balls to the wall and focus on myself. You know, like I owe myself that. And listen, you can, like, thinking about lost time doesn't really exist. It's like you can move just even more so quickly than most people will their entire life because you're so laser focused on being all about Kim. Yeah, thank you. I don't know who is Lisa, or is that, there was Lisa? I'm 5'8", so a little bit taller than you. 5 foot 8 inches. And then when I usually wear heels, so I'm even taller. You have no goals? That's okay. Relaxing, self-care could be a goal. Sleeping could be a goal today, taking a nap. Can I tell you one thing, but promise you won't tell anyone? I won't tell anyone, but there are other people in the chat, so if you're okay with that, as long as it's something that's safe for everyone to hear. I don't want anyone to feel triggered or upset in a group setting. I'm okay to hold space for people, but I don't like to make other people feel uncomfortable, just in case. Yeah. It is true that, is it true that 2026 has the same energy like 2016? Because that feels like it. I feel like that in a lot of ways. I don't know. I don't remember why. I don't know where that comes from an astrological perspective. I think that just as a society, every year, I'll talk about that in a second. Every year, has its own, like every 10 years kind of has its same frequency. Like the musical themes of 10 years ago are kind of coming back around again. It's like what was trending 10 years ago always kind of takes a different form in the same way. So like the types of like, I think of like musical, like thematics and things like that too. We see it in music, we see it in clothing and fashion. History always kind of repeats itself in some way. But yeah, I don't know if that, I don't have anywhere in the top of my mind that I know from an astrological lens. But I feel the sense of like the millennial optimism, they call it, where like I was graduating college 10 years ago and it was like, oh, the world was your oyster. And I feel like that again, but in a different capacity, because the last 10 years has really changed the scope of the world. But I'm sorry. I never like when somebody says that they don't love themselves or they hate themselves. And I feel like a lot of it comes from, I mean, I went through my own kind of like not liking myself or feeling insecure. And I think it honestly, just taking time to get to know yourself as you get older. Like now in my early 30s, I feel how society or our parents tell us that we should have felt at 18. So, finding that kind of balance, is important. And I will I like to, when there's more than just you, I can't just give my undivided attention to you. I like to make sure it's like I'm hosting a party, right? So if I just talk to one guest and I'm the host in my house, it looks kind of rude. But, Magnetic had commented before you, so I just wanted to pour into her for a moment. But, I think that the more that I got to know myself and what I liked and you care less about what other people think about you when you get older. And then when you graduate from school, it's like the world becomes a lot more even, and there's less kind of like social hierarchy, but not as much, Yeah. I'm sorry, girl. Yeah. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for sharing. Take care of yourself. Yeah, I can't read. The person's secret is safe. There you go. Yeah, I answered for, hey, yeah, when you find a girlfriend for me, I'll gift you special gifts. My girlfriend should be a princess in every sense. Okay, I love that. Yeah. Self-criticize, don't self-hate. Yeah, be analytical. Hi, Serbia. I love that. You're getting to know yourself will start to make you love yourself. Astrology really helped me. Yeah, I feel that way too. Like, I think just because life until you hit adulthood just feels really restrictive. And depending on, I think almost every one of us here is from a different country. I don't know if we have Serbia, we have India, we have Amsterdam, Holland, a lot of different kinds of places. Thank you, Glass. I'm not from Arizona. I'm not. I'm a West Coast or East Coast girl. But I was talking about my time in New York City, actually. But basically, when we're looking at the older we get, and we kind of grow and can find our own footing in the world, and being an adult that's able to work and do our own things, that creates a lot of all world in one place. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're all connected. It's true. We all, at the end of the day, want the same things. We want to feel successful. We want to be able to, whatever success looks like for us. Success, your mind doesn't have to go to having, hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, but anything that creates like a sense of personal satisfaction, and understanding, I think is important. But success means different things to all of us, and finding out whatever that means to you and taking the time to do so for self-discovery, like human design and astrology, like that. Those are also the ways that I kind of got a sense of like, oh, who am I as Brenna as an individual versus like who the world is telling me that I should be based on society's expectations or our parents' expectations, whatever the world has made us feel like we we should be doing. Oops. Single guys. I don't know about single. I think some singles in the chat, single women too. Yeah. Do you believe in real love? I do. I do believe in real love. I'm a romantic. Yes, money is important, but a good, great person and know how to treat others, yeah, is very important. I work on both parts. Yeah, absolutely. You need to know what your standards are too. Hi, Diddy. Welcome back. Even with a broken heart, I still believe in real love. Yeah, how about you? Yeah, honestly, I believe, but not easy to find. Yeah, I think that it's so funny because in a day where we're like able to be ourselves and so connected, people really feel alone. And I truly feel like right now we're kind of all in this period of like, I'm married, so it's, you know, figuring out, my perspective obviously is a specific one, or my lens is a specific one, but really being able to have that sense of self and individual, like personal clarity is important. You know, the world is we're optimistic in a lot of ways, but also like cautiously optimistic about the future for a lot of different things. And I think, you know, as we get older, finding people that, like, as we get like into our later 30s, finding people that still have cool things going on is important, you know, to have people that have other like hobbies too. But we can't, if you have other hobbies, it usually requires leaving your house. So when you guys are ready to leave and meet people, find like a common subject, like not just a typical club or bar or anything like that, which is more common in the US than not. But like, you know, social clubs or, you know, songwriting workshops, things along those lines from musicians like Kim in the audience. Yeah, what kind of cars do American ladies drive? Oh, there's so many different kinds. That's funny. I do talk a lot, but that's the purpose of the live. You want to just sit and stare at me, Diddy? But what was I gonna say? I had another thought, but I forgot what. Yeah. Oh, cars. There's so many. I mean, there's a lot of general American cars, but a lot of Japanese cars actually, like Honda, Toyota, Jeeps are a common one in the US, but it's very diverse here. Oh, there you go. Yeah. You said I'm men, and then I think I'm lesbian because I also like women. Or you could be bi. I mean, there's different expressions. Something you said in the audio, Brenna, really kept repeating in my mind. I quote, people have seen people enjoying life. And that even was a sign for me. I kind of forgot to really enjoy life. Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like just allowing yourself to know that like you're allowed to have fun is important. Yeah, just was focused on my work, my relationship, my family. Yeah, and listen, there are a lot of things that will take time to sort themselves out that way. You know, allowing yourself to just know that like you know that you deserve more fun and enjoyment and like wanting to just enjoy life, you know, having that balance. Did you found a friend in the audience? And your driver's seat is right side. Yes, it's opposite. It's opposite in the States. Okay, I need to pause for a second so I can schedule my post for later today. One moment. Yeah. We call pile inside the car. Yes, gasoline. Yeah. Yeah, it gets a gas station. Which, funny enough, probably has different, I never thought of the difference there. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting differences in cross-culturally. Those little things I didn't even think about. That's why whenever I go like travel somewhere, I actually really like to go visit a grocery store. Yeah, I'm a Sag with an aqua moon. Yes, and our current sun transit actually is in the same gate. So in human design, each of the zodiac signs are broken down into 6 further pieces. So my rising sign and your moon sign is gate 19, which is the gate of wanting, or the gate of sensing what other people want and need. So we're really good at seeing like what people want from us, even when they don't know how to express it. So we just kind of act. That's what it gets us in trouble historically in relationships, with being like potentially boundaryless, but having to understand that like it's like a disciplinarian of Aquarius. Like I'm not going to do that until these things also happen, and it has to be reciprocal. And that's the detachment. Yeah, the Aquarius moon. Like I say, like I like humanity, but I don't like every human that I come across. Like there are a lot, like I probably like less people than people that I like. I'm open-minded. I keep my mind open, but you know, it's like having like good people like yourself are always a pleasant surprise. But like I really focus on the few people that I really know I like to work with. And listen, it's few in the grand scheme of the world. Like I've still worked with quite a few people over the course of my lifetime, but yeah, people can be largely disappointing. But yeah, but to be honest, I just want someone to see through that way of me protecting myself for potential disappointment. You know what I think too, Kim? Like when you are like out and about again and really are like on your Zoom, so to speak. I keep very less people in my space. Yeah, you understand. You understand, Tarun? You want somebody that's also, it's like the best way I could describe it is like has their own thing going on. Like maybe like you meet a stylist that works in the music industry that's also equally as busy, because like when you get into those spaces, like you know how cutthroat it could be. Even in the astrology space, I was saying this yesterday in my Patreon community. We did like a private Ask Me Anything call. And I was saying how like the astrology community, even on TikTok, where it's supposed to be about like making people feel seen, can be like so combative and like about people trying to prove each other wrong or like check each other on information. Yeah, I think you need somebody that's like artistic, but maybe not also an artist. I think 2 artists that haven't figured out like a level of success at not at the same level of success. Like it's a very specific person that you'd be manifesting. Do you come to India with your family? My house is open. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll let you know when we visit. I don't have any travel plans for the near future, but I'll let you know. Excuse me. But yeah, I think it's projector. Yeah. Projectors can get really bitter, especially if the attention was on you and you were getting the attention more effortlessly because you had more energy to go out there and do different things. Projector bitterness can be very real and get very toxic very quickly. So it's like you either like them or you don't. They can feel very intrusive. I don't know if you were on the live when the other day on TikTok, but I had somebody come in that was like a manifestor, but it mirrors the same way where it's like they don't know, like they're not always good at social cues and watching out. So bitter. Yes, Josh, you understand. It's nice to see you. But that bitterness is like what it's like. There was another person that was saying, another creator, and I forget their name, but they were like, if a creative person is not creating, they create problems. And I feel like that sums up what I can sense of your ex intuitively. I'm sorry, Rag, that you're depressed. I know, honestly, just to validate that the world can be a depressing place to be right now. Also, if you're in a corner of the world where it's winter, the winter also doesn't help anything. I always fight a variation of seasonal depression myself, which is why I keep these things 1%. That's amazing. I keep my routine I know the things like coming on live Monday through Thursday for 2 hours every afternoon, talking to you guys and helping you. Thank you. Makes me happy. And doing things that I know make me feel good, make me happy is important. Working out, 5 days a week, even for 30 minutes, puts me in a good mindset to makes me happy. But we have to have that, finding whatever small window of motivation makes sense, or whatever it is that you feel is worth pursuing. But start small, it doesn't have to be, hi Shu, welcome. Kumar, welcome. Proud of myself, sis. Yeah, proud of my parents, absolutely, as well as you, sis. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You should be proud of the things that you work hard to do. But yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling the heaviness intuitively of the world right now. So we're kind of like, we're all going through the motions, it feels like, and continuing on and really just truly taking one day at a time and making it as best for yourself as you possibly can is I think where most of us are at right now. I think a lot of us are in that place where once we start to think too much about like what we want the future to be, hello Con, what we want the future to be, where we think we should be by now, where we think we should go, we take ourselves out of that. Josh, I tagged you in a comment on a video yesterday. I don't know if you saw it on TikTok. That was of the subway station. And guess what? Duolingo had the music going with a little for Bad Bunny and teaching the Bad Bunny lyrics. I don't know if you saw that. What does the new year officially start? So there's a couple different examples. I'm gonna complete a song. Yay, congratulations, Minus. I love that. A couple different ones. So it depends. I actually, for some people, they see it as January 21st. I understand. That's okay. Yeah, I'm sure you'll find it. Hi, Relara. Welcome. Oh, I love your pink. Pretty in pink. Yes. I love my large pillar candles. I want to walk around like a Victorian person. But I like to work with the spring. I feel like once it's the springtime, energetically, physically, we're coming to life again. I don't like to, like, the New Year's resolutions and manifesting with January 1st never fit well for me. Hi, Tiffany. Welcome. It's good. How are you? Welcome, Jay. Love that. That's so sweet. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, I get these from Amazon. They're unscented white candles. Or I have actually a local store that I'll go to get to, but if I'm in a pinch. But yeah, being with your mom, I love that. Yeah, it just feels more intuitive, like for our bodies. Like I'm very aware of, like, I don't like the winter. Like I don't enjoy the cold. I find things to do that make the winter more tolerable, but I'm not a cold person. Thank you, Minus. I try. What's my type in women? Well, I'm married to a man, but I love women. Yeah, I love that painting behind you. Thank you. That's the Birth of Venus by Botticelli. Fresco. Hi, Tony. Welcome. But I don't find a reason. The world is full of cynics. I don't need to be another one adding to the pile. That is for sure. Yeah. Aw, she really does, right? Minus, gotta love her, right? Thank you. Yeah, it's true. We have to. Yeah, I love the winter humidity is anime. Oh, see, I'm the opposite. I love it to be like warm and humid. Like, I don't mind it being humid. I love being outside. I love being warm. Like, that to me is the best. Thank you. I do meditation and yoga. I just put out a guided meditation here tomorrow. Yeah, of course, Tony. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, at least you're free. The freedom probably feels good. I guess it depends on the kind of climate you have mostly. We don't like extremes. Yeah, it's so true. I don't, Jess. Yeah, I love spring. The days where you can wear a leather jacket open and feel the sun kissing your skin with a cool, refreshing wind that surprises you out of the blue. That. That exact, very specific niche feeling. Exactly. Exactly right. Thank you, Con. Yeah, that's the feeling that I enjoy. I am not somebody who enjoys like free. It's very cold here. Oh yeah, I'm glad you like it. It's an Italian Renaissance fresco. You can find it on the internet too. Thank you. Thank you, Taylor, for the love. Yeah, freeform. Thanks. Just strange to have a key to a door. No, I can imagine that. I can imagine that. I know, and just like being able to have your own space. I can imagine the quiet is also probably something to get used to as well. I actually I'm doing an event at a yoga conference. And so right now, last night it was -2 degrees Fahrenheit. I love that, Arizona. Yes. I love Arizona. I've only been once to Phoenix and Sedona. I've not met the Kardashians, no. I don't watch anime. Yeah, have you ever been to Europe? I have been to Europe. I've been to London, Paris, Spain, Ireland, and then I was trying to figure this out the other day, but I've been to Istanbul as well. I always have candles on. Yeah. I don't know what you mean about the stay part though. But yeah, I really, I enjoy Europe a lot. I just love how it's so different. Like even the states here, like every state in the US is like its own country in some regard, but I like the like very stark difference between countries abroad. So yeah, it is true. I traveled a lot. I'm very thankful considering. Yeah, the silence and freedom was weird, but I'm adjusting. Yeah, how was London? London was great. I went with my grandmother, actually, who was a really avid traveler. She was the one who took a lot of me and my cousins around. I have been to Canada, too. I love Canada. Canada is also great. I've been to Montreal and Quebec. But it's so funny because it's a lot smaller. There's a lot of, like, inhabitable land because there's a lot of, like, woods and ice and glaciers or whatever else is up there. But I really loved Canada, too. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yes, it does snow. It snowed here. We got about 2 feet of snow here. Duolingo was listening to. I'm telling you, Josh. That's what I said. I said confirmed. I said something along the lines too of like just validating your intuition. So when you have an idea as a creative person, make sure you take it before somebody else does. Act on your impulses as a creative. But yeah, I would love to go to Amsterdam. My sister-in-law wants to go to Amsterdam. Hi, Lucian. Thank you. Yeah, I like to read. I'm a little bit of a nerd that way. I like to study. I loved watching, God rest his soul, but yeah, exactly, right? I know, gotta be faster. Anthony Bourdain. I love any kind of like travel shows or just like, I always love things that are different than me. I like a broader world perspective, which I think would help a lot of people. I love that too, yeah. I have not been to UFC. I've been to like different kinds of like boxing before, but yeah, I love that too. Yeah, 7th wife is from Amsterdam. There you go. Yeah, Amsterdam is looks like a really cool place. Kim knows that corner of the world very well, but I have not yet been. Definitely there. I would love to go to Germany, really anywhere. I would love to travel once to every country or as many countries I can get to. But yeah, my 7th wife, I know. Maybe Mormon. So the Super Bowl event, basically for American football, you have a bunch of teams that play, and there's 2 teams that are like the penultimate teams that won the American football games in the US for the American football season, or football season. And so they compete to win like the Super Bowl. So it's like a very big American sport. I imagine there's something similar for you in India with cricket. Like you kind of compete until you win like the penultimate event. But yeah, so that happens in February. I think it's the first Sunday in February. So maybe it's the second? When is Super, or maybe I feel like it's not this Sunday. Yeah, it's February 8th for us. Suriname is my motherland. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, South America. If you love good food. Yes, I love good food. I love to eat. I love to eat. Yes, Super Bowl is a big bowl where large people assemble and eat their cereal. That would be nice too. We could make that. I think we have to compete with other countries. Yeah, 11 people on a team. Oh, wow. Yeah, so even more. Yeah, American football for the Super Bowl. It's only in the U.S. We have a town or a city called Seattle. The Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots who are going to be playing. So it's fun. Just something to watch. I like watching it because it gives us something to do in the wintertime. That helps. Yes, I love that. Kendrick. Well, Bad Bunny is going to be doing the Super Bowl halftime show this year. That's what I was talking to Josh about here. But yeah, I think, Bad Bunny will also do something similar too, because he brought Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory that he's from, but it's kind of like ostracized in a way where it's a U.S. territory, but it's not treated the same way that a U.S. state is. So I'm excited. I mean, I love activism under the guise of the arts, anything along those lines where people stand up for what they believe in. Yes, loves participate in so for the Super Bowl, there's something called the halftime show. And so last year we had a really popular singer that I don't know if you're familiar with. His name's Kendrick Lamar, that Kim was mentioning. And then we have a Puerto Rican Spanish singer named Bad Bunny, or called Bad Bunny, that's going to be doing the halftime show, who's from Puerto Rico. So I think I said that a couple times already, but Indian and American. Oh, mix. Yeah, that's so cool. Are your parents, do you have one American parent and one Indian parent? Or just, you mean you're multi-dimensional? Halftime shows really put the artists on the map. Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like it's arguably in the US, the biggest thing, because you hear about it internationally too. But yeah, I think it's so interesting to see how, and there's I don't know if you're familiar with John Mayer, but John Mayer is a really well-known musician and singer-songwriter here. He travels abroad, but also, I wake up at night to watch. Oh, I love that. Yeah, watching it live is I love that, watching it live. But John Mayer has been in the game for a long time in the music industry, and when you don't have to sign to a label anymore, that also is a really nice place to be as a musician. So a lot of musicians do strive to now not be controlled by a label, because a lot of people go into the creative industry because they don't want to have to work under somebody, but then you leave and you kind of are always working under somebody, even if it's working for the fans, right? So it's but you have to choose, your fans are helping you by telling you what they want to hear from you and taking that constructive criticism as a musician, but the label has a lot more control over what they want you to produce and the archetype of talent that they want to create in the industry. So it's interesting to kind of think of it from that lens as well. But yeah, so I'm excited for the halftime show too, all that to say. I don't know. I want to say, no, because I just saw an interview with him where he said last night, where he said, I'm not signed to a label. Oh yeah, because he was signed to Columbia Records, but that may have been in his early 20s, but he's not signed to a label now. So he was expressing in the interview that I saw last night about how he was nervous because now that he's not signed to a label, he has to decide if he wants to put out a single at a time, and that kind of he gets to enjoy the life cycle of a song versus when you put out an album in its entirety. I know, an album in its entirety, people binge it really quick. I think of Charlie XCX, which you probably know because she's in that kind of club British girl scene, and how it was the Brat summer. Think of how fast people are still using Brat and love Charlie XCX, but unless you're in her core fans, Brat was worldwide, and now it's just kind of gone back to her fans. So yeah, I love her. I think she's a triple Leo, if I'm not mistaken. I think she's a Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, which she has that lioness look about her. I love Pink Pantheress as well. I'm trying to think of any of my international baddies. Yeah, but she also, her and Zara Larson's song I've been listening to a lot, which is popular right now. Oops. Thank you, Morgan. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. You're a 97 baby. I love that. What do you like to blog about? Yeah, people keep telling me that I have a lot of Leo energy, but I have none. Yeah, I think it's your Jupiter. Oh, Oklahoma. I've been to Oklahoma actually as well. My step grandma was from there. She was from Tulsa. So I have been to Tulsa, Oklahoma. People keep telling me that I have a lot of Leo energy, but I have none in my chart is because the ascendant conjunct my sun. Yes. So anytime you have the sun on your ascendant, it gives that kind of like vibrancy of Leo. Like you are the sun incarnate, but the moon will also do that for people where they feel a lot. And okay, the moon will also make people feel like a Cancer rising, even if they're not a Cancer. I love paranormal stuff. That's so cool. Virgo. Yes. My dad is a Virgo. I have a lot of Virgos. I love a good Virgo. One of my college besties is a Virgo too. 0 degrees. Oh yeah. So it's like, here I am, hear me roar. I love that. My step girlfriend is from Oklahoma. It's giving Mormon, the higher observer. Are you Mormon? Or I guess maybe polyamorous too. My mom and dad are both Virgos. Yeah. So wow, strict. I know it was strict in your household. Cleanliness was next to godliness in your household. And Suriname being your home country too. And a lot of anxiety too. Oh, September 12th. Okay. Yeah. I know it was what's the phrase? Like it was strict. It was strict over there. We keep it strict over here. We run a tight ship. That's for sure. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's no joke with 2 Virgos in a household, but hey, hardworking people, dedicated people. That's for sure. My dad is very hardworking. He's retired now, but he was very hardworking. He's still and very cerebral. He has like the permanent 11s behind his eyes. Oh, voice recorder. That's amazing. Yeah, I've had a couple spooky experiences, but nothing too insane. The protection is up. Oh, late August. Yeah, late. If you're after like the 21st of August, then you are a Virgo. Yeah. It makes sense because you're also very chatty, but Leos can be very chatty too. I mean, like comparatively, some people will be like in alive and they won't comment at all, but like a Virgo or a Leo or Cancer will usually. Mom was a single mom. My dad wasn't really around. Okay, yeah. Still provided in some regard too, right? A Virgo, earthy, like gotta get the coin. Got my hair pulled in the shower. That's so scary. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I would not like that. I'd be like, if it's not your hair, don't touch it. Gotta have firm boundaries. Spirit were just people that were on the other side once too. They once had a body. So, yeah. Hi, Tim. Welcome. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, but that I would not like. I'd be like, yeah, pause off. We don't need that. Yeah, I'm not very chatty usually. I'm fairly reserved. Yeah, I understand. Well, Virgos too, it's like you want to analyze the scene. Like you want to see what's going on to know like what version of yourself do you want to show up as like in the room. I think Virgos operate, there's a quote by Kafka, I think it goes, and he says something along the lines of, the world is a masquerade and I was silly enough to show up with my real face. That kind of energy. Like there's a version of us that's always like, we always have a version of us, like who I am here is going to be different versus the type, like who I am as a daughter or a wife or, things along those lines. That brings me to a question. You said something in a live about seeing in someone's chart that their dad was a drug dealer. I don't know if I said that. Can you really say that? I don't know if that, maybe if it was I don't know. If they didn't say it, that's not, like, I wouldn't outright say drug dealer. That's not necessarily something I would say. But I'm like, I don't know. So unless somebody said that and I, like, validated it, but maybe it was another word that sounded like that. See, I don't get my energy out if the other is not going to give. That's fair. Virgos are, yeah, absolutely. They're very strict about, like, Virgos are so intuitive, but they're so logical in a lot of ways that they explain, like, they just think that that's the way that the world works. So it's like they don't even know how to describe it that way, because they're very, like, they can be very articulate when they want to be about like explaining, like, that they're like, yeah, it's just the laws of the universe. Like, what do you mean? Thank you, higher perspective. I'm glad you enjoyed. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the person that I was talking to that I would have said that. But usually, sometimes what happens when I'm reading for somebody is I'll go into a little bit of a channeling mode that, like, but that's not a word that I would use. Yeah, common sense, absolutely. Usually, it can be, I get a lot of people with the 4037 channel. So if somebody had a parent that was, like, into, like, alternative ways of living, I'll say, it's usually they grew up in, or maybe addicts, like an addict maybe was the word, but people who, I have a lot of people who have parents that were addicts. So maybe that was what I was referencing, that have the 4037 channel of community and human design. Yeah, that's very, yeah, she confirmed. Yeah, I have to go back and look. But yeah, it's so funny. Not a fortune teller in that way, an intuitive, but I don't, it's 50% of what we're looking at intuitively, and then the other 50% is what you do with it. I always say that I can see somebody who has the potential to be an amazing singer, but if they don't do anything with their voice and they go mute and they don't want to talk, then I can't change that for them. But free will is a very real thing that we all have. So I can, give people angles or tell them, like, intuitively, this is what I'm picking up on in your energy, but I'm not, that's a big misconception about psychic intuitives, is that they are going to predict every aspect of your life, where that's not necessarily true. So, yeah. I like tarot. I use tarot sometimes, but for me, like, it's just a tool that I don't really need anymore now that I trust my intuition, but I like it. I think that I'm not turned off by people who use tarot cards. I think mostly it's kind of like the gateway to being able to keep your intuition sharp for people. And sometimes, like, other people, like clients, just like the visual, it's easier for somebody to say it's the card saying this, not me saying this, right? Like, I think people find the confidence in having tarot too. But for me, like, I feel like I've refined the skill at this point, as humbly as I can possibly say, to have that, like, if you know, if you don't, you don't. But usually for anyone who gets to the point where they're reading tarot, like, that when they're good and they're doing it a lot, they don't necessarily need the cards. But it's an externalizing visual indicator. And sometimes too, like, if I like, I understand when people use them in, like, a party setting. If there's a lot of people and a lot of energy, it could be a way to just focus on who is in front of you at a time and have that. I love that, Brittany. Yeah, I've heard people do that. My husband is into Pokemon, so he was telling me about that. People use Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, those kinds of things too, which is so cool. I feel like that's such a rare niche. I feel like if you do like Pokemon card tarot, like Twitch would be in it, like the just chatting stream on Twitch. If you ever did that, I feel like would be amazing if you don't already do that. But I feel like that's such a good, like, intersection. I love that. Yeah, trade cards, there you go. But yeah, I'm gonna head out because I actually have an event that I am making my way to this evening, so I'm gonna head out for the day. I will be back on Saturday, 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, until about 4:30 Eastern Standard Time to do live readings. So you guys will see me. I'll be dual streaming. You guys will be on YouTube, will be on my laptop, and TikTok will be on my phone, while we still have that portal in the US. So I will see you there. I can't believe it'll be a week tomorrow of our meet-iversary, but I'm so glad we met. I used to think that by doing tarot, you change your future because you already know it will happen. Yeah, it has, right? It signaled for us. But thank you guys for being here. If you want to come back at any point in time, I'm here Monday through Thursday, 1 to 3, roughly 3:30, 3:20 right now, Eastern Standard Time. If you guys enjoy, take a break for most Fridays and Saturdays to go about my business. But thank you for being here. It was so nice to meet all of you and to chat with all of you. I appreciate you guys asking me good questions and having a good conversation. Happy anniversary. I'm happy to be in each other's orbit and making some good positive changes in our corner of the internet in the world. So I will see you guys. Love to you all and have a good rest of your night.